So today we will be watching a video from Jubilee. I actually watched this video back in July, I think. And I watched the first 20 seconds of the video and I immediately started crying. It's been a couple of months since I've seen the video or seen the first 20 seconds of the video because I stopped watching. I said maybe we'll make this into a YouTube video just because it would help me explore my emotions more and document it on camera. So here we go. Here is Reading Strangers' Secrets About Feeling Lonely.
Super relate.
In high school, I used to eat lunch in the bathroom stall.
Same.
I do the same in my workplace now.
Same. This is the reason why I wanted to react to this video. I relate so much in how these people feel about situations in their life. Like, yes, when I was in high school, and even in grade school, and even in college, I've eaten in the bathroom for most of my school life. And at work, I know it's not because my workmates or my co-teachers don't want to eat with me. It's just that I've gotten so used to eating alone. Eating with people is weird.
As a child, I never talked to my toys, but now I'm 24, and ever since I've been living alone, I talk to my stuffed animals when I feel my friends don't want to talk to me anymore. I'm a little embarrassed to say this, but I talk to myself all the time.
See?
Every day.
Oh my God,
All day long. Because I also live alone. Until you have really been in the depths of loneliness, it is so hard to describe. Like the lengths that you go and the things that you do to try to combat it. And I think if talking to your toys brings you some comfort, like we need that. Because loneliness is something that you can drown in. It is something that can overcome you. I think people can be alone, but not lonely. You know, there are people who are happily single. There are people who choose to never get married. There are people who choose to never have a partner, and they're perfectly happy with that. And I think loneliness is when you long to have those things and you don't, and you feel like you have no control over it. Or that's been my experience, at least.
My best friend unfriended and abandoned me without a word after I told her I was suicidal. I still blame myself to this day. I wish I was different, and maybe we would still be friends. I think to a certain extent, as a friend, as a human being, you have to be there for the people around you and vice versa. I think we can't do things alone. We need people around us.
I appear very happy and outgoing from the outside, but I constantly have panic attacks that no one knows about. I'm scared I'm going to hurt myself. My parents are immigrants who don't believe in mental health issues. One night at dinner, my mom told me, "Stop saying you have anxiety. You don't even look sick. I'm going to take you to the hospital to see dying kids so that you can see what real sickness is like." Sometimes I wonder that maybe there is nothing like mental health issues. Maybe they're just constraints of the mind. That must be such an isolating feeling. I have immigrant parents as well, and mental health was not something we ever spoke about growing up. And so it was hard to say things to them like, I think I need to go see a therapist, or like, I think I need help trying to figure out my emotions. When I'm seeing you as like happy and outgoing like this person is, but then you tell me you have these problems, you know, I can understand how it would be hard for someone to understand that, but we should take people at their word. If you are feeling a certain way, you should always believe them.
This video, even if it's not done yet, I just want to get it out right now. This video comforts me in a way because there's so many people out there who feel the same way as I do, who have the same situation as I do or similar situation. Like, I don't have immigrant parents because I live in the Philippines and I've lived here and my parents lived here all their life. I remember when I was in high school and I was questioning why I've always felt sad or I've always felt lonely and helpless and worthless, and that I've always felt like my life meant nothing. When my guidance counselor said something about mental health issues like depression or anxiety, I looked into it and I thought maybe I have this, and since there's a person that can help you with this, maybe I can ask my parents if we could do something about it, because I didn't understand why I felt like I wasn't loved by them even if they loved me. And they just brushed it off as negative thoughts. I just felt like I wasn't heard. I felt like they didn't understand, and I didn't know how to make them understand. At this point in my life where I'm really fighting for my mental health, it's hard to fight it by myself because half the time I'm questioning if I'm even doing it right, if I'm actually helping myself or damaging myself.
I am a closeted gay, adopted from Korea with crippling depression since I was 12. I've never felt 100% Korean or 100% part of my white family's culture. I feel like the Christian God could not love a deformed creation. I have no one to turn to. Not my church, not my family, not my friends, not my culture. I'm totally and utterly alone. I'm a misfit everywhere. What's really tough is that they say I have no one to turn to. I think they've got to find that one person, whether professional or personal, they need to find one person to allow them to feel like they can turn to them and talk to them. At least that's what I believe.
Okay, so after watching the video, I kind of had a breakdown. A lot of things from my past came back to me in a really negative way. So I had to just step aside and just reflect on what I've learned these past years about feeling lonely for a lot of my life. I think because I've always felt like I wasn't allowed to be myself and express myself and just express my thoughts and be open, like open up. I chose to be alone. I chose to be lonely most of my life. And even if there were people in my life that were open enough to hear my side or to be one of those people that you can confide to, and they'd have no judgments to whatever that you'll say, and that they'll be there for you no matter what, I still chose to be alone. When all of this started, a lot of the people in my life didn't know what to do about it, or didn't know how to help, or they were too young, or we just didn't know anything. We didn't look into it. I didn't get the help that I needed at a young age. Nobody understood what this was, and nobody took action to it. I mean, especially me. I wasn't ready to accept that I had a problem, even if I was suffering in my own mind. And I think now, because a lot of my mental issues are not so taboo at home. I mean it can still be taboo, but it's kind of out there and it's very obvious. I think because people in my life, people who love me, my family, they understand a portion of it. They understand somewhat of what it is compared to before when we all knew nothing. It's gotten so much better. So my advice to you, if you're struggling with this and you think you don't have anyone to turn to, understanding what this is, understanding mental illness or depression or anxiety or whatever you have, is the first step that you should take. I think the biggest mistake that my family took in taking action to helping me get better was that we just brushed it off. We labeled it as me having negative thoughts all the time. And the results of that was me drowning in the depths of my own mind, listening to that evil voice in my head telling me all these lies about myself, about my worth, about my purpose, about who I am. I'm super grateful now that my family somewhat understands, and
I'm grateful that they're fighting for me now. It was hard for me to see that before because it felt like it wasn't enough and it felt like they didn't still understand me, but I could see it now because I'm fighting for myself now too. So yeah, take care of yourself and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.